Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we're going to be doing a video about Nio. Before I start the video, guys, please make sure to leave a like on the video below. Subscribe to the channel for more awesome content. Join the family, guys. Let's go on our investment journey together. Today we're going to be talking about Nio Stock, currently sitting at $36.34. And boy, it has been a week for these stocks. Oh my God. Market's crashing and all of my stocks have been red for the entire week. I do not want people to panic because, this is completely normal, happens all the time, right? Sometimes you're going to be in a bull market, sometimes you're going to be in a bear market, but I'm going to be telling you guys why this is a perfect opportunity to buy the dip on Nio Stock, currently sitting at $36.24. Obviously, everything I say in my videos is not financial advice. It's just my personal opinion, but let's get started and let me tell you guys why Nio Stock is an absolute must buy at $36.36. So looking at the 1 week chart, it is down 12.33%. And looking at the 1 month chart, it is down 32% of its value. Obviously, Nio has not been doing well the last month or so, and there's obviously a lot of reasons for that. A lot of people have definitely seen, that maybe people think that Nio is overvalued. Do I think Nio is overvalued? Absolutely not. So over the last couple of weeks, Nio had been falling previously, but there was some recent news that actually did cause a lot of EV stocks to actually fall, and the reason that is because there was a big fire in Japan, and it took out one of the biggest semiconductor chips for a lot of car companies, which is why a lot of EV stocks are actually falling. Right, so this is deeply going to impact EV stocks for a little bit, right? So it's not like something small or anything like that, but people are expecting this to kind of banter with all these EV stocks until at least the middle of Q3, which is later this year. But I want people to understand that, circumstances like this don't always happen. So this is why I think right now is a perfect opportunity to buy the dip on Nio Stock. A lot of people are still bullish on the overall stock. People think that Nio is still going to hit $60, $70, $80, $90 by the end of the year. I also think the same. I do think that Nio Stock right now is an absolute bargain at these prices. Circumstances have definitely pushed Nio Stock price down. It does not happen every day where you get the opportunity to buy such a stock like Nio for such a cheap price. Looking at the 1 year chart, still up 1,200%, which is absolutely amazing. And looking at the 3 month chart, it's down 23.23%. And like I said, the last couple of months for Nio have not been good at all. Like I said, a lot of the Chinese tech stocks, there's always tension with the US and China, which just put a little more pressure on stocks like Nio. But the biggest key takeaway I want people to take away from this is Nio is going to be an EV leader. Nio is going to be the biggest representation of China as far as the EV industry comes in itself, which is why people are recommending people buy the dip right now. Yes, the stock may not do well this week or maybe even next week or maybe even the week after that, but when you're investing in the EV company, you guys should be looking long term. Nio has it all. We've gotten a very good insight about Nio as a company, what the overall stock actually does offer in itself. They have a bunch of new vehicles dropping. They're working on a self-autonomous driving technology system. Their battery as a service differentiates itself from the competition. And like I said, Nio is going to be an EV leader. A lot of big time analysts are super bullish on Nio. Yes, I can understand, a lot of Chinese stocks have entered a bear market, and a lot of people, so what's the differentiation between a bear and a bull market? Bear market means that if a stock has fallen 20% or more in a short amount of time, that means it's actually considered to be in a bear market. So if we really dive in though, and we actually take a look at Nio, like I said, Nio is still growing super crazy. And yes, the fire in Japan that took out one of the biggest semiconductor chip factories, yes, it's definitely going to delay production, but it's not just for EV companies. It's a lot of companies. Nissan was affected by this, Ford, Tesla was affected, Nio as well. A lot of EV companies and a lot of car manufacturers were affected by this. Hopefully nobody got hurt. That's kind of the most important thing. But I want people to understand that, when it comes to Nio Stock, you have to be looking super long term because the EV market is in an evolving state that's really not going to be replicated over the next couple of decades. Right now is the perfect time to be getting stocks at these prices. And the reason I say this is because, circumstances have pushed Nio Stock down so much, but the thing is, you're not always going to get the opportunity to be able to buy stocks like Nio, Tesla, Workhorse, all these other EV companies for such cheap prices. And I can understand, yes, there's a lot of market uncertainty right now. A lot of people are scared. A lot of people are losing money, but I want people to understand that is not just you that is losing money. There is a lot of people who are losing money. The S&P 500 is down 3 days in a row. For me, I've probably lost about 20% of my portfolio over the last week, but I know that certain circumstances has pushed my portfolio down, but for me, I always remain long-term. I have a long-term goal set in my mind, especially when it comes to stock like Tesla and Nio, especially Nio, because, the EV market in China is going to be growing so rapidly, and it's a huge market over the next couple of years that basically by this time next year, I would not be surprised if Nio Stock was sitting around $90 to $100. And like I said, I'm a firm believer that my price target is pretty accurate based on the overall facts that Nio has actually presented. Looking at all their cash flow assets, they've all turned positive. Nio is doing a very good job of expanding into Europe by the second half of this year. They're producing a whole lot of new vehicles, trying to iron out the kinks. It's just an absolute steal at these prices. I want people to understand that, right now you're never going to get buying opportunities like this. And I get it. There's people out there who say buy the dip and then it dips more, and they say buy the dip again and then it dips more. I can understand why that gets frustrating, but when you're investing in stocks, you guys always have to have a long-term perspective. Like I said, corrections do happen. That's part of the stock market. Really understanding the overall stock market in itself. This happens all the time. Think about all the people who owed all the S&P 500 stocks last year when the stock market actually did crash and people lost a lot of money. But guess what? It's on its way back up. It takes time. It's a very well-rounded patience game. I don't want people to be discouraged, if their portfolio is not doing well, or if you're down a lot of money on a specific stock. If you're confident about the play and you're confident about your overall analysis, then there's nothing to actually worry about on the day-to-day basis. I've done my analysis on Nio 1,000 times. I think that the company is going to go super far. I think it is going to be one of the biggest EV leaders. I think it's going to play a dominant role in the EV market. And I think that Nio Stock is going to be growing for a very long time. Like I said, reputation has it. It's one of the biggest EV companies, if not the biggest EV company in China. It's already expanding super quickly. They're working very hard to make sure that their vehicles are better and bigger than any other Chinese EV competitor out there and the EV competitors here. But like I said, this is the perfect opportunity to buy dips on stocks like Nio, because Nio is going to be growing for a very long time. I don't want people to be discouraged because, there's an incident that happened that it's out of everyone's control. Like I said, the fire in Japan that took out a big semiconductor chip factory. Like I said, it's obviously a big deal. It's definitely going to delay a lot of progress in these EV stocks. But what I don't want people to miss is the overall underlying fact is that these stocks are going to be growing for a very long time, that these stocks are longer term plays. You will be thanking yourself 2 to 3 years down the line when you took the opportunity to buy the dip on stocks like Nio when it was super cheap, or even Tesla, or even Churchill Capital, or any of these EV stocks. Yes, all of them have taken a pretty decent hit. It's not just one in specific, but the stocks have gotten no downgrades. A lot of analysts are still bullish on the overall EV market in itself. Like I said, certain circumstances has just pushed the stocks down, which people are probably taking a lot of opportunity to actually buy the dips on the overall stocks. Like I said, guys, be patient, stick with it, buy the dip on Nio Stock. It is absolutely worth it. With that being said, guys, that's all I really have to say about the video. Let me know down in the comment section below, guys, what you think of Nio Stock. Do you guys think that Nio Stock is an absolute must-buy at $37.23? If you guys own Nio Stock, how many shares do you guys own and what's your average? I'm always very curious to know. With that being said, guys, thank you. Have a great day.